I take my hat off to, is it Viking Penguin, that they managed to keep this under wraps. I mean, the book is coming out in just a few months' time. It must have been known about. I do wonder whether they're going to do a J.K. Rowling on it and sort of, as it were, keep it embargoed, you know, under sort of lock and key until the last minute, you know, just to build up. Not, of course, that any building up will be required. The book is, I mean, the book is just going to fly off the shelves. I mean, there's such a fund of goodwill towards Harper Lee, very good woman, whose novel did a very good thing at just the right time. And generations of school children have been, you know, come to love the novel. I think it's going to be great. I feel sorry for any other novelist that's got one coming out in July.
Do you think it's a good book?
I think it did good. I think it's fairly. I mean, I don't think we're talking Tolstoy here. I don't think we're talking, you know, even Kazuo Ishiguro, who's got a book coming out. Lovely book, actually. But you know, blunt instruments sometimes work, don't they?
I mean, she's a fascinating character because, as well as producing this bestseller herself, she was the kind of muse of Truman Capote and helped him produce his books as well.
She was very kind to other Southern novelists. Reynolds Price, close friend of mine, wrote some very good novels, died quite recently. But, you know, she was good. I mean, Salinger did the same thing. He went into silence. You know, you didn't know where he was. He was in his bunker, you know. But you feel there was a kind of paranoid quality to Salinger. But with Harper Lee, you felt it was rather dignified. You know, she didn't want to publish in the stories of her throwing the manuscript out of the window into the snow and her agent running out and bringing it back and persuading her to do it and telling her how to coach her. Salinger was a very different animal.
But do you think part of it was a lack of confidence? It's a very tough act to follow. I mean, the book was such a massive success, To Kill a Mockingbird.
I mean, this one was apparently
written
first.
before.
I know, yeah. So this is going to be a very old novel when it comes along. It's going to be, sort of, to some extent, rather whiskery. But no one's going to care because it's Harper Lee. You know, we love her.
But how do you explain that long silence then? If this book that is going to come out in the summer was written first, then To Kill a Mockingbird, why the long silence after that? Do you think it was because it was very hard to come up with any kind of book afterwards?
No one knows. She doesn't give interviews. She's very private. And clearly she wanted her own life, you know, sort of... She retired, you know, she came in, you know, hit a home run and then retired. Very few novelists do that, you know, to some extent they're drawn into the game and they have to play on until eventually, you know, sort of they...
Is there another sequel you'd like to see?
I don't know, I'm reminded of Agatha Christie, a woman I admire mightily. You know, she decided to stay in London when the Germans were bombing and put 2 novels in the safe. She was quite certain she might get killed. And then, you know, 20 years later, they were taken out. They, you know, they weren't that wonderful, but the gesture, and I feel the same with this, too.
Well, John Southern, thank you very much indeed. Indeed, she says, I think, that Harper Lee, that she thought this book had been lost and was then found by the publisher. So.
Yeah, so even she's excited. I'm excited. I'll be queuing up for it. Thanks very much indeed.